Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and I was just recently checking out the Elder Scrolls Blades game that came out on the Nintendo Switch earlier this past week. I was interested in checking it out because I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan. I love Skyrim. I played some of Oblivion. I've been online a few times, and there's just always been something about the world of Elder Scrolls. You know, the big open world, the exploring, the dungeon crawling that always attracted my attention. And even though I knew going into Blades that this was a free-to-play mobile game, essentially that was on Android and iOS for the past year, I was excited because to me it gave me that craving, just enough of that sweet little Elder Scroll gameplay that I like to experience, which for the most part, yeah, this is kind of like an Elder Scrolls Light. You know, you have the basics of it, you explore the dungeons, you have an attack, you know, you avoid enemies, you kind of see treasures and stuff like that, and it has that first person view that gives you that, you know, that Skyrim feel, but it's pretty dumbed down. For example, your attacks are with the ZR and ZL buttons up top. You kind of have to time it just right to where you can do critical hits, and at the same time you have to push up on the control stick in order to block the enemy's attacks. You can assign 3 different directional buttons on the D-pad of the Nintendo Switch controller to do some of your elemental magics and stuff like that. And then of course, like with any RPG game, there are some leveling up systems where you can set up certain abilities and perks, you know, such as being able to be stronger when attacking with two-handed weapons, or being more immune to fire, and, you know, being able to enchant your equipment, make your character be able to carry more stuff and all like that. So it's pretty fleshed out in the regard of how an RPG game plays out. But you got to remember, with any type of mobile game, there are limited types of I guess gameplay elements in the game. It's not as big as a Skyrim, so to speak. This is a very dumbed down version. Now, what is the point of this game? Well, this game has you being in control of somebody who is part of a faction called the Blades, and there's a whole story with like a Blood Queen and some kind of like ancient sorcerer tomb down below the town that you are a part of. Now, you arrive to a town that's been in ruins. Something huge happened to it, some kind of event that just totally destroyed everything. So it's up to you to bring prestige back to the town through doing certain jobs and quests, and rescuing townsfolk and building up new buildings, you know, homesteads, houses, dwellings, alchemy labs, you know, like a blacksmith, to name some, putting decorations up to get the prestige of the village up. There is other types of modes in this game as well, which I actually really enjoyed, was the arena mode, where you can play against other online players. I played against RGT85 and a couple other people very briefly. We joined a guild together, me and RGT. You know, we made the APE Nation. He came, visited my town. You don't play at the same time when you're visiting each other's towns, but you can go to your guild members' towns and see what their towns are like, and buy stuff from them, and switch out, you know, there's like a chat that you can use to switch out, like, and request certain resources and stuff. So there was guilds, arenas, which is pretty fun. It's a lot of combat and stuff like that. You get to select your weapon loadout, your equipment, and go against another opponent. There's an abyss mode, which is kind of like a never-ending dungeon. You go down every so often through levels of floors. You can unlock more experience, more items. You get special quest items the further down you go. So that's some replay value there. Now, overall, the graphics of this game, let's be completely honest, it looks horrendous. This game looks like a mess, but to play devil's advocate, Skyrim didn't really have the best graphics either. Elder Scrolls as a whole kind of never really had the best looking graphics. It's always weird for such a loved series that it always just looks like a glitchy, outdated mess no matter what the game is. But to me, that's part of the charm with the Elder Scrolls series, and even, like, you know, some of the other games like a Fallout and stuff like that. I personally think that Blades looks this horrendous because it is basically a mobile game port. You know, the graphics look really scratchy. The faces of the characters just look very odd. You know, just looking at this game is a bit of an eyesore. The environments especially if you're outside doing some of these missions where you're fighting like imps and goblins and stuff. It does not look pretty. This game looks very, very outdated. Inside the dungeons, it doesn't look too bad. And honestly, it's not that much of a step off from what you see with Skyrim this day and age. I mean, Skyrim's a really old game, but god dang it, do I love it. Now, the missions, you get assigned some jobs. These jobs are like requests that the villagers do. And they are everything from going and rescuing a few townsfolk to exploring a certain area to killing a certain amount of goblins. And on top of that, you do get daily challenges, daily rewards that are chests that you can unlock, and certain items that you can get just by playing the game every day. And then, of course, there's the quest, the main quest that, you know, progress the story. So based on what kind of level your character is at the time is how hard some of these challenges may be. Now, I will say, after a certain amount of time, and this goes back to it being a mobile game, after a certain period of time, you will hit a play wall. And what I mean by that is the game will just be absurdly difficult. There's a high degree of challenge to begin with, but that's with any RPG game. That's part of what grinding is for, leveling up your character and that. But after so often, I would say probably about level 10 to like level 12, like right in there, there's a spot where it just gets incredibly difficult to proceed. Like the quests amp up their difficulty immensely, and then it becomes an obvious microtransaction heavy game. The game does have a lot of microtransactions, and I'll say that's to be expected with a mobile game, of course, but when you're playing on a console, the Switch is starting to get a lot of mobile game ports. Also, PlayStation, like the current gen, is starting to get mobile ports, and these include the shop, which tries to sell you certain bundles, like pay-to-win bundles that include certain items, upgraded items, quest items that are limited time, certain abilities and stuff that can help you progress your character rather quickly. And of course, you know, as a whole, gamers do frown on that, and this game at least gives you the first 10 levels or so without having to really rely on that. But once I got to a certain point in the game, I was like, wow, this game definitely is pushing the idea of paying to win, because you're going to be grinding all day. You're going to be grinding and not getting anywhere as fast as what the pop-ups that say, yo, buy this bundle and get this equipment and get this level up and this bonus and stuff like that. So I will say there is a high amount of microtransaction requests in this game. And there's also, the game is free to download and play, but there's also a bundle in the eShop. I think it's like $14.99. I could be mistaken. That's like a quest starter pack. I didn't buy that. I thought for the most part the game was actually kind of fun. I was really enjoying it, all graphical issues aside, glitches aside, you know, game crashing, frame rates, the way the game looked. For the most part, it actually was highly entertaining. I was actually liking it. I can get caught into these games. These come to me like a time sink. But then once I reached level 10, 11, you know, that area, it was like, wow, what else can I do besides actually getting into the microtransactions to continue my enjoyment of the game? So I will say the microtransactions definitely hindered it, but going in, you know, it's a mobile game. So unfortunately, you know, the idea is there, the concept's there, the fun is there, but you have to remember this is a free-to-play microtransaction heavy mobile game. So, you know, it does fill my Skyrim fix, but then again, if you want to play Skyrim that bad, you can just pop it into your system, or I can just play Elder Scrolls Online on my Xbox, either way. But it was a fun little novel game while it lasted. You know, I spent like a good chunk of my day yesterday, like 8 hours, just playing this game, enjoying it for what it was, having a lot of fun, and then boom, hitting that paywall. So thankfully, your money's not at risk if you want to just free download the game and play it for free until the microtransactions. But I wouldn't recommend investing that much into the game as far as microtransactions go, unless you really are a big Elder Scrolls fan and you've been playing Blades already on your cell phone, I don't know if there's cross-play, like maybe if you already have an account on your iOS or Android that you're saved, like you can log in and use that character or not. I didn't research into it that much, I'll be honest. But for the most part, I mean, again, it was fun while it lasted, but that paywall is a killer. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this game. Have y'all played it? Have you checked it out on mobile? Have you downloaded it on Switch? This was like a surprise launch out of nowhere. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Guys, help me out. Leave a like or even a dislike on this video. And subscribe if you haven't. Let's throw some engagement. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.